that. I have to. You guys. Oh my god. I mean, it's not like we had a really cold winter. We never did. So, fleas did not die. Okay, this experience, man, I guess it was about 3 years ago. Damn, time flies by. But I didn't start doing videos till 2015. But yeah, this was 2014 sometime, probably around March. And anyway, so I was asking the Reptilians too, because in later part of 2012 or early 2013, that's when I knew that all along they had been giving me out-of-body experiences. And then I started thinking back how I used to go, I used to specifically just bam, shoot out a body, a specific, way back in 2003, 4, 5, and 6, almost daily in the afternoon, because I worked nights back then. And so I was asking them to give me my astral travel abilities back. So this is what I got from one male reptilian being. He was a winged being. And so anyway, okay, so, and this is, I've astral traveled at many speeds, but this is the fastest I've ever traveled, or at least, there may have been a couple other times that I traveled pretty close to that speed, but yeah, this is by far the fastest I've ever astral traveled, probably 8,000–10,000 miles an hour. I think there's been some other times where I've astral traveled 8,000 or 10,000 miles an hour too, but I can't remember those videos right offhand. But this is one of the fastest. So anyway, he just, he didn't show me his face. He flew down into my bedroom, basically. They're very fast, these aliens. And so anyway, I was asking, one evening and morning to give me my astral travel abilities back. So one being shot, flew down into my bedroom, grabbed me out of body. I mean, it was just really, very smooth, you know what I'm saying? Very smooth. And I started flying with him. I started flying with him. No, he did not have a hold of me, but he was there with me. It's like I was there just a couple feet away from him, side by side. And And like I say, I was, the whole time I was astral traveling, you know, it's like, I was like, thinking, this isn't what I meant exactly, you know what I mean? No, because see, back in, the way I was doing it back in 2003, 4, 5, and 6 was like, well, sometimes they were coming and abducting me, but they basically were just triggering me to do it by myself, you know, to do it alone. I was shooting out of body alone. But a few times, yes, they did come into my bedroom and, you know, personally, and take me out of body. But like I say, so, you know, when he abducted me and took me out of body and he was still there with me, you know, I was like, okay, well, this isn't quite what I meant exactly. This wasn't exactly what I was asking for. But because I knew he was there with me, I knew he had abducted me. He didn't just trigger me to just bam, fly out of body. Well, see, back then I thought I was just going to random heaven realm dimensions and stuff. But now I just realized, you know, they were creating all of those realms that I was, you know, plopped down in. And a lot of times they were just sticking me outdoors in nature where it was all sunny. And I was just walking around like, wow. And I was just by myself and it was so freaking awesome. I thought I was in the heaven realm. The heaven realms. But a lot of times that's what they were doing back then. You know, they were just like plopping me down in nature scenes. And like I say, I thought I was just going out of body on my own and just going to random places, but that was all being controlled. I realize now. And they were creating those dimensions for me. But anyway, okay, so after we went flying at about 8,000 miles an hour, then boom, he placed me down in a park. They placed me in parks many, many times. And this was more like a little area of a park that I was in, like, I don't know, I guess you could call it a courtyard. But there wasn't like flowers and stuff like that. There wasn't buildings around the courtyard or whatever. But it was like I was in a little square area of this bigger park. I was just in this one small little area, like a little courtyard. And there were some college students, about 3 of them, just standing around, and it seemed like they were about to play soccer or something. And so I was kind of looking around the courtyard, and well, actually, at first the students were off at a distance, like 50, I don't know, 50 feet away from me. When the reptilian plopped me down after we astral traveled through the grayish galaxy or whatever, when he plopped me down in this virtual reality scene, I was quite a distance from these 3 college students, like about 50 feet or whatever. And that's when I started looking around the park and everything. And like I say, it seemed like they were about to play soccer or something. And I saw this over straight ahead over to the left of the courtyard. There was this big, huge, and it seemed like iron. I mean, it was really like this heavy piece of iron, like this medieval looking structure. And it was, you know, I didn't probably make it exactly like what it really looked like. It was taller. I mean, well, actually, it was, I don't know, it was pretty tall, like 2 stories tall, this medieval structure, or at least about a story and a half tall. And it was, you know, shaped like that. I mean, I don't know what the hell it was. They probably have that in their dimension, and they just placed that in my virtual reality scenario. Or maybe it was a real dimension, I don't know. Maybe it wasn't an artificial dimension, but most of this stuff is just the aliens creating it artificially. But nothing's artificial because, I mean, it's still real. It doesn't matter if it's real or artificial, because this dimension is fake and artificial. So It's still real, whether, you know, God created it or the aliens created it. It's still real. Okay, so, but yeah, so that was kind of interesting. I mean, it was like something I've never seen in this dimension. And it was like freaking iron. And so, okay, so anyway, this was a very, very quick abduction, so this isn't going to take me long. So, after I started kind of observing the courtyard, and like I say, it's like I was in the small little, well, it wasn't small, but you know what I'm saying. The park was huge, but I was in this small little area of the park. But there wasn't a fence or buildings around or anything like that. But there were the 3 college students and the medieval structure. And so then, after I kind of started observing the college students, like they were talking to each other and crap, and after I observed the medieval structure, then, and I was just kind of like standing there when he plopped me down onto the grass, and then he like flew me, he just like, whoosh, the reptilian, because you know I was out of body, so it's not like I was heavy or anything, I was weightless. He flew me over to the college students, and I was like floating I was airborne. When he flew me, when he made me go flying over there to the college students, at that point I went about 3 feet above the ground, and whew, I shot over there to them out of body, weightlessly, 3 feet above the ground, and started traveling. This isn't the first time they've done this to me either. They've done this many times. And so I started flying over there on my butt, basically, in midair, 3 feet above the ground. And once I got to the college students, I can't remember if I thumped all of them on the head, but I started harassing them. And at least 1 or 2 of the guys, I was like, and I was still extended in midair. I was still floating in midair. And I was just kind of like thumping them on the head and stuff. I wasn't hitting them real hard, but I was thumping them on the head. And I was like, "You want to fight, little boys?" And I was like, "You want to fight?" And, here's the cool part, and the Reptilians have done this many, many times. I've actually talked in my normal voice before to the beings in my scenarios, but a lot of times they can make you talk electronically, and they're like, it's like you not talking, but they're making you talk in some kind of electronic voice, and it's not really you. Well, it is you talking, but they're like controlling you to do all that. So anyway, this was a very, very, very fast abduction. But anyway, so I started harassing them as I was floating. After I shot over there on my butt in midair, like, I still stayed in midair and like reaching down and thumping them on the head and acting like, "You want to fight, little boys?" And that's when, but when I said that, it was an electronic, like, it was electronic voice. Well, I can't mock, I can't, you know what I'm saying? I can't do a good impression of that. But it was in an electronic, they made me talk in an electronic voice. It was not my voice. They did it electronically. And you know, so I was like, "You want to fight, little boys?" And I was like kind of hitting them on the head, thumping them on the head. And, but like I say, it wasn't my voice. It was electronic voice they made me speak in. And like they've done this many, 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 many times before too. Under, even in lucid dreams, or even in dreams, lucid dreams, and, you know, virtual reality experiences. But this was an out-of-body experience because I actually felt him take me out of body. But it was also virtual reality because when they stuck me down in the park, you know, it was totally virtual reality. I mean, I don't necessarily believe it was really the heaven realm. You know what I'm saying? I don't necessarily believe it really was a true dimension. I mean, I think it was probably artificial dimension. But still, I mean, it's still real. You know, it's still real. I don't care if it's artificial or not. It's still real. I mean, when I'm in those so-called artificial dimensions, I mean, they feel a million times better, a million times more real, a million times more heaven-like than this dimension. I mean, this 3D dimension is totally fake. It even feels fake. Anything the Reptilians create for me, nothing feels fake. or artificial. See, that's kind of funny too. That's kind of ironic because everything's ass backwards anyway. So that makes sense. You know, like you're in this stupid dimension, Physicalville, and it's very boring, lame, and it even feels fake. I mean, it's so fake, it's pathetic. And then when the Reptilians and the Greys create these virtual reality scenarios for me, they are 100% godly, 100% heaven-filling, 100% all loving for the most part. I mean, like I say, except this experience, they made me harass verbally the college students. Well, physically too, but I didn't really hurt them. I was just thumping them on the head. But yeah, what they did was after he, well not they, but he, after he placed me, you know, feet down in the grass, then he made me, you know, float up 3 feet above the ground, and I shot over there out of body. Or, I mean, I was already out of body, but I flew over there, you know, weightlessly on my butt. That's how I traveled to them. I didn't travel by walking over there or running over there. You know, shit, I don't know what the hell you call it. But anyway, I astral travel over there to them, basically. You know, because when you're weightless like that and in these other dimensions, you just whoosh, you don't have to walk or anything like that. You just fly. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so anyway, oh, the reason why I put, sometimes I do put like the little northeast, southwest, because at the time, you know, and it still is now. Sometimes I change my bed around, but at the time my bed, and it still is now, but I think I'm going to change it around, but my bed is facing south, and so when I'm laying in the bed, my head and my face is facing north, and so when he abducted me, you know, I went that direction, so that's why I made myself, you know, that's why I put that in there, because we actually, you know, when he abducted me, we went in that same direction, north, which was to the left. And like I say, there's, back in 2004, I haven't talked about that video yet, but, you know, if I lay on my stomach and they decide to take me out of body, sometimes, like, I will literally, because I'm laying on my stomach, they will take me down. They'll take me out of body, and then it's like I'm flying down, down, down. And then they take me to one of the hell areas, or one of the dimensions of the hell area. I haven't talked about that abduction yet, but yeah, that could be like a 5-minute video too. That was a quick 5-minute abduction. See, I thought I was going out of body on my own. But I wasn't. Each and every time, it's them taking me out. You can't astral travel. You can't go out of body on your own. That's why nobody can do it on their own. And if they are doing it, it's because the aliens are making them do it. You got to have the aliens to take you out of body. The only thing you could do on your own is lay there in bed and put on meditation music, or you don't even have to put on meditation music, but you can just kind of like, you know, you can like lift like 3 or 4 inches off the bed, but then you don't go no damn where. Well, that's why, because that's all you could do on your own. It takes aliens to do all the other parts, all the fun parts. So anyway, that was my abduction to the park. And if you've read all of my videos, they've taken me to parks over and over and over and over and over again. Thanks for listening.